Fog football back again, and we're going to be talking about Dortmund 7, Celtic 1, and addressing Chris Sutton's comments regarding that game, because he put out a tweet. We've also got kind of a watch along. I have got the Hearts game on, definitely. They're taking on Dynamo Minsk. It's Minsk against Minsk. I'm not going to take the credit for that. Someone stole it, but it wouldn't take too much to come up with that, if we're being honest. And I think that fan is turned off. That sounds like assault rifle fire, to be brutally honest here, but let's see. Chris Sutton has reacted. We'll get into the tweet once people join in on the live stream. This is on hotel Wi-Fi, everybody, so this could be really bad. There's no tways about it. It could be really bad. Mike's going to test it out, what it sounds like, or what it looks like. Myself here, 30 seconds in. Where is everybody? Let's see. Get an ad all right on it. Get an ad all right. Let's see, Chris Sutton. It looks good enough to me. Everyone must just be watching the Hearts game, right? Anyway, I tell you what's happened. Everybody has absolutely bottled it from a Celtic point of view because they get scud at 7-1 by Dortmund, right? And you know what? There's not going to be many times for Rangers to be relatively smug this season. But I mean, if you look at the actual result, that could derail Celtic's season in a sense. Like it really could. It's the result to derail a season. I don't think it will. I still think Celtic will go on to win the league before anyone starts greeting. But getting beat 7-1 is a disgrace, man. People can hype up Dortmund. You know what? Dortmund are a very good team. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Dortmund aren't a good team, right? They are. But you shouldn't be getting beat 7-1. Brendan Rodgers has shown now over two different spells that he just can't manage Celtic in the Champions League. And he got backed in the summer. Yeah, there was a few injuries, Carter Vickers, etc., did not exactly feature against Dortmund. You know, you had Trusty in there with Scales. But he set Celtic up the same way as he would against St Johnstone. So, and that's obviously going to come back to bite you in the arse when you take on last season's Champions League finalists in Dortmund. But what did Chris Sutton have to say here? That's what he said. This is a few days old, but you know what? I've been out of the loop, so to speak. That's what he said. Celtic wanted to go toe-to-toe. Good to be positive, but there comes a time when you have to be a bit streetwise and understand levels. Throwing lots of bodies forward when you're 7-1 down, it seemed a bit naive, a bit like Madrid. Way too open and ruthlessly exploit it. So, as you can hear there, that's absolute good night for Chris Sutton. He's pretty much hit the nail on the head. Now, I did post that like 2 days ago, almost 2 days ago. You have to be streetwise, and, you know, they were... I mean, I get it, you're 7-1 down, right? But they were 5-1 down after the first half, and pretty much every goal was needless from a Celtic point of view. You know, just giving it away cheaply in possession. I've seen a lot of different player ratings. I now covered an Iron Brew copy, Glasgow Times. See the player ratings in that. Cal McGregor got a 6. So players were getting 5s and 6s, and it's like they've just been beat 7-1. How can, I don't know who does the article, right? But seriously, who can be given players in that Celtic team those sort of ratings? Honestly, it baffles me. Absolutely baffles me. Cal McGregor getting a 6 out of 10. I believe Maida got a 7, which, I mean, Maida got the goal, right? So if you want, then a 7 out of 10, he gave away one of the goals. I think it was the 6th one, or was it the 5th one? They conceded that many goals, man. I can't even tell you. As for a live update on Hearts, Hearts are getting beat 1-0 by Dynamo Minsk, which is just awful, man. You've got Mulder, right, taking on Larm, and that's 0-0. And you compare the gaps between the teams, man. I don't understand what has happened to Hearts. I really don't. In terms of who got the goal for Dynamo Minsk, it was Alfred Rai in there. So an attempt to cross for Rai. So, I mean, in terms of the starting 11s, what did Hearts put out there? Let's see. Craig Gordon's on a 5.9. I'm going to assume there has been an absolute howler for Craig Gordon. Then it's Penrice, Rawls, Kent, Forrester, Splittle, Beninjaby, Devlin, Mackay, Shanklin, and Forrest. So for me, that's a pretty strong starting 11. But then that's a start in this season that is, very similar. Very similar to a lot of games that Hearts have played this season where they get beat. So can't even sit here and use many excuses for Hearts. It's no good enough. I think a lot of people kind of expect that once Naismith went, they'll be in the money, but they're really not in the money. In terms of other scores, Europa League, let's have a wee look here. See who Rangers are obviously competing with. Tottenham are beating Ferencváros 1-0. Hoffenheim are beating Dynamo Kiev 1-0. Lazio are up 1-0. There's 0-0 Maccabi Tel Aviv against Midtjylland. Olympiacos and Braga are 0-0. Qarabag 1-1 with Malmo. We all know Malmo are pretty pish. Real Sociedad 1 each with Anderlecht. RFS getting beat by Galatasaray, and Ajax are beating Slavia Prague. So there's no team news regarding the Rangers game. Looking forward to it. Hopefully the Rangers can get the job done. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm expecting massively major things, but I tell you what, man, see if this was a Rangers stream, like Chris Boyd reacts to Rangers getting destroyed 7-1 by Liverpool, because of course that happened a few years ago. The views and the likes would be through the roof. But see, because the majority of people in fog football floating about these days are Celtic fans, they can't hack it, they can't face it, they only sing when they're winning. And that's obviously, there's been a lot of singing going on recently, but they've been scud at 7-1 in an absolutely disgraceful performance by Borussia Dortmund. And where are they? They're bottling it. 7-Up. Get your can of 7-Up it. It's pathetic. It's honestly embarrassing, man. Brendan Rodgers, right? I've seen it on scoreboard saying that people are saying he needs to go because he hasn't learned. And, we heard it for Sutton at the start of the season. This stream's about Sutton, right? Sutton, obviously, talking about the fact that, what was I about to say? Sutton obviously talking about the fact that, they need to move away from domestic issues and focus on the Champions League. He got backed. Engels came in, Adair's came in, big money. They brought in a few other players as well. There's been a lot more emphasis on this Champions League campaign than any other Celtic Champions League campaign in recent memory. That's looking from the outside in. We need to move beyond. We've outgrown Scottish football. That's all we've heard. So they need to adapt their game. It was great. They beat St Johnstone 6-0. Celtic played great, but we've seen with Gio, right? We weren't even that good in Scotland under Gio, really. We won a Scottish Cup, but in my opinion, we lost the league when we should have won the league. And but he made it work in Europe, and I think that's the true reflection of a great coach, right? I'm not going to sit here and bury Brendan Rodgers and say he's not good or anything, right? But he seriously needs to step up to task, Brendan Rodgers, and I think there'll be a lot of people calling for his head if he can't get the job done in future Champions League games. Of course, you've got Atalanta coming up, and what's the other game? Leipzig. And if Dortmund can beat them 7-1, as Beautiful Game says, 7-1, bunch of laughing emojis. There's 7 viewers and 1 like. That was 7-1 as well, now it's 10 viewers. If Dortmund can beat them 7-1, there's no reason why Atlanta can't pump them. There's no reason why, because you can't be naive, man. You need to set yourself up structurally smart. There's a creepy hand there, getting flung about Brendan Rodgers. But you need to set yourself up smart. You can't just, it was just pissing about on their only 18-yard box for Celtic, giving it away cheaply, right? And what happened there is, well, you give it away, and the top teams are going to punish you. It just showed you Celtic. Rangers, it pisses me off because I seen it against Falkirk where Celtic were under the cosh for a bit to that game, and it was a Scottish Championship team. I'm like, why didn't Rangers show any of that? Obviously, Dortmund are a million miles better than Rangers, but you see how Celtic can be taken to task. It's with, break down their high press, actually, get shots away. Kasper Schmeichel, he probably kept it from being about 12, right? But, he gets shots away. That's a bit, see the last bunch of old firms, there's barely been any shots. And at the end of the day, I don't care how we win. If it was one shot, we won 1-0. But if you look at the League Cup final of 2019, we were a much better team in that, and we lost. See the last couple of games that we've lost against, I think the last couple of games that we've lost against Celtic, that's pretty much every game, right? There's not been many chances for Rangers to write home about. So I'd like to see that sorted out. as for Sutton's comments, I mean, that's all he said. I mean, as to be expected, a lot of people have went radio silent. I mean, it was a good result for Aston Villa last night. He did comment a bit on that. I wanted to see what the Hearts score is here. Let's get this stream back. Still 1-0. Still 1-0 to Dynamo Minsk. Scotland. Let's see here. What else is happening? There's no much. I mean, what else is happening in the world? I mean, there's no team news for the Rangers game. Obviously, Yanis Hadji's back in the first team, which is very good. I like to see that. I mean, I know that the Leon team bus has been attacked in some capacity. Duncan Ferguson is working for free to help save Cally Thistle. I mean, it's a good gesture from Duncan Ferguson, right? I'm not going to, overly hitting the game. I mean, I like Duncan Ferguson. He's great. He's true hard man. Not a bottle merchant that pretends he's hard. But I mean, him not accepting a wage for Cally Thistle with the amount of money that he's probably got in the bank, it's not exactly, Moses parting the Red Sea. If you catch my drift. Parzival says Gunnar Gordon. I'm going to go with Craig Gordon, but to be honest, I believe he's made a massive mistake for the goal tonight, hasn't he? So maybe I'll have to go with Gunn. But I don't know. Was it a massive mistake? Let's see. I'll tell you what it was. I don't think it was. Rui Lopez gets down the goal line all too easily. Alfred can tuck away the opener, swiping out of Craig Gordon's reach. Disappointing defending. It was very, very good there. I mean, I don't really know what to make of that. I mean, is that Craig Gordon's fault? Who's watching the game? Anyone in the comments watching the Hearts game? I mean, what's it on? What's it on? It's on TNT. TNT Sports Free, which I could put on the Virgin Media app, but I don't have time. I can't be asked with that shit. But is that where we're going to end the stream? Is it? If anybody got any closing thoughts? Because this is my first time giving the thoughts on the Celtic Dortmund game, but it's pathetic. It's really. I mean, I expected Celtic to get beat. I predicted 3-1. I thought it'd be an open game. Celtic would go for it, play good football, but they'd still get beat quite comfortably. I don't think anybody expected 7-1. But when you look at the Rodgers' Champions League record and you look at what Celtic do, it's really bad. And this is what the guy said in Super Scoreboard last night. Brendan Rodgers has been a part of some of the worst results in Celtic Football Club history. You think of the games against PSG, Bayern, Fletigo last year, Dortmund this year. It's not good enough. You need to pick and choose when you play your football. And yeah, see at home against Slovan Bratislava, by all means, play what they did. It was great, right? But when you play like that against Dortmund, you can't. I remember the Dortmund and Rangers game we won 4-2. We gave up chances in that game. Absolutely. Dortmund could have scored a few more. I remember Bellingham had a chance that he missed. Hummels, I believe, had a header that he put wide. Just when you're reading at some of those names, it's like, is the Dortmund team really better these days? But yeah, we could have scored more as well. Hearts have just equalised, but I think Rangers had a better defensive structure, especially in Europe. We went to tough places and got results. Only got beat 1-0 by Leipzig. Like, if you think of it, we beat Leipzig over two legs, right? We beat Dortmund over 2 legs. We're undefeated against Dortmund over 2 legs. 2 top German teams. Celtic just get beat 7-1. And it has to set them up better. As for Hearts, obviously, I was about to say Stephen Naismith, but he's not in charge anymore. It's an own goal from Sergei Politevich. What a bitch. Not exactly the greatest name of all time, but no, yeah, it was a great delivery and it's clipped off. Serge Politevich, brilliant. We're going to go to 15 minutes, which means a minute and 10 seconds to go because there's bigger fish to fry, literally, tonight. But yeah, closing thoughts. Anyone got anything else to say on Celtic? Because they're pish. Any super chats? Come on, Rangers fans, send a wee super chat. Get it right into Celtic fans, because Tuesday night was a good night. It was a very, very good night. Come on. Yeah. No one's got any thoughts. What else? Lauren's still holding out Molde. I mean, that's It's a mighty accurate site. I mean, that's pretty impressive, I'll tell you. Circle Bruiser beating St. Gillian. Stan has beaten TSC. Some of these teams are really diddy, to say the least. But that's where we're going to end this stream, everybody. Rangers tonight, buzzing for the game. In terms of prediction, haven't even done a match preview. I'm going to go for, what am I going to go for? Rangers. I'll go 2 each. I don't think we'll get beat. Wouldn't be surprised if we get beat, but it's not going to be 7-1. Put it that way. Anyway, till next time. Peace.